76% of dying people regret not being true to themselves. They regret pursuing the goals somebody else gave them, either society, their parents, or media. And the worst part is, most don't even realize it until it's too late. But how do you know what you want? How do you know where you want to be in the future? Most self-improvement experts either forcing their vision of success on you, or just ignore the topic. I will tell you the real, proven ways to figure out what you really want, so that you don't end up like the most, living someone else's life. When I told you about someone else's goals, you probably started thinking about something like strategizing. You need to set your own goals, you need to do stuff to achieve them, and strategizing is a great tool. Strategizing is when you're setting a goal and making a plan to achieve this goal. And don't get me wrong, all successful people use strategizing. This is like a crucial part of success. You cannot succeed without a strategy. But the problem in this case is not lack of strategizing. The problem is that the goals that you set are not yours. In simple terms, you need to know where you aim when you shoot. And there are several techniques that can make your goals much more authentic, that will make you know why you aim where you aim. And let me tell you about one main technique. Only one technique, and you will know what you want from life and why you want it. So the skill that we will be talking about in this video is journaling. Journaling essentially is a skill of being your own therapist. It may sound weird, like how can you be your own therapist? People pay money for it, but actually you can. Because essentially what therapist does is that they don't force their ideas on you. They are trying to understand what you really want, what your problems are, and make you to come up with solutions yourself. Journaling works in the same way. It works because it makes you question your own thoughts. It makes you go deep into your own head and understand everything there. Structurize it. Turn this mess into something understandable. So in order to strategize, you need to write somewhere. It doesn't matter if it's digital or on paper, but you need something to write with. It can absolutely be your phone, it doesn't matter in this case. What you need to do next is you need to write a topic of discussion. And you will have this discussion with yourself, and I'll show you how. So first of all, you need to write the topic. The topic in this case is where you want to be in the future, what you want to achieve in life, or what are your life goals. After you've wrote down the topic, you need to ask yourself questions about it. What exactly do you want? Why do you want it? How do you want to achieve it? Why do you feel it's important to you? And so on. You come up with as many questions as possible and you answer them honestly, because nobody else will read this. This is purely for you. This is actually in a way better than a therapist, because a therapist is another human being and sometimes it's hard to tell them the whole truth. Here you are just answering your own questions to yourself, and that kind of helps. So after you answered all these questions, you analyze your answers and you write more questions. Imagine that you are your own therapist. That really helps to come up with more questions. It might look like this. For instance, in my case, I always wanted to be a YouTuber, and I can ask myself, why do I want to be a YouTuber? Well, because I think it's cool, because I want to travel places and I want to meet more people and I want to make money doing something that I like to be doing. So it turns out that I want the lifestyle of being a YouTuber, not necessarily, recording videos. And then I ask why, and then I ask maybe there is some other way. And then I ask, where did I get this idea to become a YouTuber? And I'm starting to get deeper and deeper in my own head. That's how it's supposed to work. Now, how long do you need to do this for? Spend at least couple hours asking yourself questions and answering them. This is not a fast process. Therapy takes a long time, and this is essentially therapy for yourself. Also, as with many things, you will get better and better at understanding yourself the more you do this. So first time you might ask some questions, but this doesn't really go anywhere. Second time you ask more questions and you understand yourself deeper. And the third time you understand yourself perfectly because you just learned to do this, This is a skill. So don't expect this to work magically for the first time, but this definitely will after you try and try again. Another thing that I want to mention is that for many people, their goals are tied to their dreams. And that is the absolutely perfect way and the right way to do this. Your dreams should be reflected in your goals. Never say that your dream is unrealistic to achieve, because this is bullshit. Everything is realistic and everything can be achieved. Of course, like if your dream is to ride a unicorn, then yeah, please grow up. But if your dream is actually possible to achieve in the real world, I mean just physically possibly to achieve, then absolutely try to achieve it. For instance, if you wanna fly to space but you're paralyzed from birth, you can still fly to space, you can still make money, and your private space company will take you to space or something like this. Never try to make your goals realistic. Life is too short for realism, so try to achieve what you really want. Again, in this exercise, you are trying to understand what you want and why you want it. So if you really want something but other people are telling you, no, don't do this, be more realistic, fuck them. This is not their life, this is your life. Another thing I want to say is that there are infinite goals or infinite dreams and finite dreams. For instance, as I said before, I wanted to become a YouTuber, and this is an infinite dream. I can be a YouTuber for 100 years, for 1,000,000 years, and this will never end. Like, this is a never-ending journey. But for some people, their goals, their dreams are finite. For instance, somebody's dream is to buy a Lambo. You achieve this and you're done. So keep that in mind and try to honestly answer why you want this. What I also wanted to mention is that if your goal is finite, then there can be many ways to achieve this goal. So again, with that example, with dream to buy a Lambo, you can buy a Lambo in different ways. You can have a business, you can have a good job, you know. There are many ways to achieve that goal. And then the question becomes, how do you achieve this in a way that you like? For instance, it's probably not a good idea to take a loan to buy a Lambo. That would be a bad idea and you will probably regret it. So yes, that is a way to your dream, but that's not a very good way. And then you need to figure out a good way. For instance, maybe you want to create a business. And that will bring you enjoyment not only from your dream, from achieving your dream, but also from actually living the life, you know. So the next thing I want to tell you is that outlining where you don't want to be can absolutely help. For instance, instead of answering where you want to be in the future, you can answer where you don't want to be. For instance, you can write something like, I don't want to live like everybody else. I want to do something interesting. I want to travel. I don't want to stay in my home country for my whole life. You know, if you can't clearly answer what you do want to do, you can first say what you do not want to do. And this can help a lot. The second thing is that you might not have enough experience or knowledge to actually know what you want to do. And there are two solutions to that problem. First of all, you can try many new things. That's how you actually determine what you want to do in life. First of all, you need to try everything. For instance, you can try martial arts, you can try playing instruments, you can try traveling, you can try being a YouTuber, you can try being a streamer, you can try opening some business, you can try, I don't know, various different things. The way you try these things are not necessarily in real life, because it may be hard to try something like being a pilot in real life. And in this case, you can search for some artificial experiences. For instance, you can watch a documentary about the thing you want to do or the thing you want to try. You can try some simulations. For instance, there is a fly simulator that lets you experience what it's like to be a pilot to some degree. And that leads me to the second point you can try if you don't have enough experience or knowledge. You can talk to people who already achieved your goal, who already fulfilled the dream that you have. Yeah, sure, it may be hard to find them, but it's not impossible, especially in the world of internet. Ask them how it feels to get something that you wanted to get, and this can bring you some more information. Maybe you'll decide, well, that guy isn't happy. He fulfilled my dream and he doesn't think a lot about it. So maybe I need to try to achieve something else. Or, you know, your dream is to become a doctor, and you talk to a doctor and he says, well, I hate this job, and he lists you all the negatives and you decide, well, actually, you know what, I don't want to be a doctor. Or maybe he says, well, it's the best job in the world, and you say, yeah, I want to be a doctor even more now. Or, another option, he lists you all the negatives and you say, well, I want to do it anyway, it doesn't look that bad for me. So, you know, just talk to more people, ask what they think, especially to those people who actually have what you want to have, that's the point. So let's recap what we learned so far. You need to make a rough draft of your life goals. Write them down and then ask yourself questions: why you want this, how you want this, who gave you the idea to want this, you know. Journal about it a lot. And by a lot, I mean really a lot. Just dedicate a week to this. A week of your life, and you will know exactly what you want to do. And in this week, for multiple hours a day, just ask yourself why, how, and so on. Again, you trade 1 week of your life. Do not waste your whole life. I personally think it's a really good trade. Third point, ask those who already achieved it how it feels and how they did it. This will give you more insights and help you understand it more. And the fourth point, try new things. You might find something else that you enjoy and you might change your goals. Or you can understand even more that what you want to do is the right thing for you. So whatever it is, I hope this video helped you. Remember, discipline is freedom, and I see you in the next one.